Hello and welcome or welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction happening on April the 12th at 23 degrees and 58 minutes. So here, while the actual conjunction will take place on the 12th of April, we will already start to feel these energies at least a week and a half before. Now, the energies of this conjunction will act as a background theme throughout the whole of 2022. The last time these two planets conjoined in Pisces was on March 17th of 1856. And during that time, we saw a strong increase in the interest of topics concerning spirituality. Now, some of the famous people born in 1856 were Nikola Tesla, so that's the famous inventor, electrical engineer, Sigmund Freud, the neurologist, who was famous for his ideas in the concept of the unconscious mind, and also George Bernard Shaw. And he was famous for his role in revolutionizing the comic drama. So that's some of the famous examples from that period of time. As an interesting fact, Neptune was discovered only 10 years before the first conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, which was on March the 17th of 1856. Now, Jupiter takes around 12 to 13 years to travel throughout the whole of the zodiac, while for Neptune, this is around 165 years, 14 years in each zodiac. So while the cycle between Jupiter and Neptune is pretty short because it's only around 13 years, because this is roughly how long Jupiter takes to travel throughout the whole of the zodiac. But because of Neptune's slow movement, this is only a once in a lifetime opportunity. Both Jupiter and Neptune are the rulers of Pisces. Jupiter is the traditional ruler and Neptune is the modern ruler. Now, a planet has a more powerful influence when positioned in its sign of rulership. So this is a very strong placement for both Jupiter and Neptune, and this really intensifies the energies of this conjunction. Right, so now let's have a look at the chart of this conjunction. So I'll share my screen with you now. So here we got the chart for the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in Pisces for April the 12th. So here Jupiter and Neptune are applying to sextile the North Node in Taurus, and at the same time they are applying to trine the South Node in Scorpio. So let's first look at the sextile. Now, the key principle of a sextile is to find a way or a possibility, an opportunity that may or may not be used to achieve or acquire what is needed, what is required that in a certain situation. Now, since the sextile is happening between feminine elements, yin, then we are likely to be the ones who create the opportunity. Now, the earth and water are feminine elements. Now, this energy is considered to be receptive, intuitive. So with Jupiter and Neptune sextile the North Node in Taurus, we are in a way blessed, boosted, uplifted, and inspired. This aspect brings good fortune, creativity, originality to how we reach our milestone aims, objectives, also helping us to be more open-minded and adaptable when dealing with any obstacles that come our way. Now, on the other hand, we've got Jupiter and Neptune applying to trine the South Node in Scorpio. So this is connected to our past. This is the South Node that it's involved. So we might be looking back at our past experiences. We might be reviewing or redefining our personal values, our past achievements, belief system, our life philosophy to make a better progress moving forward, to reach our goals. So with trines, the energies flow much quicker and easier because trines remove any obstacles, any blockages. Now, we also have the separating conjunction between Mars and Saturn, which probably will create events that have already or would have already peaked in significance around April the 5th, because this is when this conjunction will be exact. So After experiencing that conjunction that probably gave us a strong determination, motivation, or courage to overcome any obstacles that come our way or came our way. Now, these two planets at the time of this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune will square the nodal axis. So this suggests that now is the time, or it will be a time, to decide what no longer works in our lives, what blocks our path, our growth, our development. And any of that will have to be eliminated, will have to go. Now, the Sun in Aries is applying to square Pluto in Capricorn at this time. So squares often create events or situations that force us into a new type of situation. Now, in mundane astrology, the Sun represents the leaders and people in authority. So here, Pluto has to do with regeneration, transformation, and the difficult aspect between the Sun and Pluto show tensions, which may indicate power struggles, corruption, for instance. Now, something really interesting that I found is that the moon has just moved into Virgo. So it has just changed signs. And the moon, the planet that signifies the people in mundane astrology, here has just moved into Virgo. Virgo is the sign of health, of nutrition, caring for the body, creating a routine. Now, early degrees of a sign indicate beginnings, new beginnings, or an early stage of some developments. However, the importance of these developments might not be yet fully understood at this time, because this is just the beginning of this new cycle. So what this conjunction could possibly bring collectively? So potentially there could be a tremendous opening up of the collective unconscious, increasing interest concerning spirituality, astrology, spiritualism in general, metaphysics. We might be searching, or there could be more people searching for the meaning of life, the truth, your life path, your potentials. So there could be a great awakening collectively. Now, also with this conjunction, this will be a great time for revising your goals, your dreams, your vision board. A great time to engage in something creative, music, photography, writing, painting, singing, dancing. Generally, this could bring a greater awareness of the climate change, of the pollution of the water, of the oceans, and space exploration as well, growth and development of the oceanology studies, or generally other topics including ecosystem dynamics, ocean currents, waves. However, there could be also problems involving water or floods or ocean pollution of the water, for instance. And also, I think this conjunction, this cycle could kind of play a big role in helping to heal or clear the karma that was kind of accumulated by the previous generation. So these are some of the examples. And here on this note, I would like to move into the predictions for each zodiac sign. So as always, I recommend to watch the ascendant sign first, and then you can also watch your sun sign and your moon sign if you wish. So thank you. Hello, Aries, and welcome. So here this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction is happening in your 12th house in the sign of Pisces. So it's all nice and harmoniously aligned here in the right house, in the right sign. So this conjunction could increase your creativity, originality. Your dreams could be vivid, and your intuition is likely to be really great as well. Because here, this is happening in your private sphere of life, in the hidden sphere of life. So this is a great time for redefining your dreams, your goals. You might be creating a vision map. Many people that I spoke to here with this conjunction, the 12th house, they decided to do something spiritual. So perhaps go on a spiritual retreat, or they might want to start yoga, meditation, but generally they want to kind of get involved in spiritual activities, spirituality connected activities, or even you might be kind of repainting, redecorating your house, generally dealing with the private aspects of your life, but your creativity or imagination will be so vivid. It will be a really great time for kind of using these these opportunities for kind of expressing yourself in some way. So releasing this creative energy is what I want to say. Now, this conjunction could bring lots of different things, but it could also bring confusion. You might feel temporarily lost and confused about what is it that you're supposed to be doing with your life? What is it that you want to do moving forward? So there could be a certain degree of confusion and delusion that comes with this conjunction, depending on your life circumstances. So I want to give you as the positive outlook on life with this conjunction, but for some people, this could be a time that you might feel slightly lost as well. You might be dealing with some secretive matters. You might have a greater awareness of things that perhaps seemed unclear before. Now, the 12th house is also connected to large institutions, multinational companies. So perhaps there could be some new opportunities that come your way around this time as well. Or generally in this cycle, you might, because this isn't just about April, we're starting a new cycle here with this conjunction. So you might have an opportunity moving forward to work for a multinational company or perhaps for a larger institution. So here with this conjunction, we've got Jupiter, and both Jupiter and Neptune rule the 12th house, but also Jupiter rules your 9th house. So we have both the 12th and the 9th house activated at this time. It's not just about the 12th house and the hidden matters, the secretive. It's also about the 9th house. So here by the events activated in the 12th house, your 9th house will be automatically activated. The 9th house is actually a lucky house. So any planets placed here are actually pretty fortunate. So the events of this conjunction can also lead to some kind of expansion, perhaps an internal need for traveling, for expanding your wisdom, your social circle, and generally expansion in a constructive way. So you might be lucky around this time. You might feel like things are kind of moving forward in an easier way, or perhaps you might receive some positive news as well. And generally with this, the events that occur can lead to traveling, to studying. You might want to study, enroll in a higher education course, increase your skills or abilities or of some sort. And generally you want to broaden your horizons here. You want to broaden your wisdom, your knowledge, and you might want to do something or experience something you haven't experienced before. So whatever happens around this time, it kind of could broaden your mind in some way, in some positive way, because with Jupiter, there's an urge to expand, to learn, to explore. Right, so on this note, let's move into Taurus. Thank you very much. Hello, Taurians, and welcome to this forecast of Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. Just to let you know that this is specifically for the conjunction, but also what may happen in the next 13 years, because this is how long this cycle will last for. So this conjunction activates your 11th house. So this is about the area of social contact, any connections that are not too deep or too emotional. So this could be some colleagues or some casual friends, people that you know through any groups, organizations, or people that you may have met through any networking efforts. So you're not kind of deeply emotionally kind of involved with them. So yes, so this could be expansion of some new connections. You might want to broaden your social circle. You might want to meet like-minded people, join some new organizations, new groups. This could be some activity connected to counseling as well, because counseling doesn't involve emotional connection. So counseling perhaps, but generally teamwork. You might be working in a team or on some project as well, or there could be an increase in social activity, group activities. And generally the friends or groups will be the main area of concern regarding this conjunction in your 11th house. Now, the consequences of any events that occur around this time connected to the 11th house, so social contacts, counseling, therapy, group activities, teamwork, they could lead to some kind of transformation in a way. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because the 8th house is activated as well. Jupiter rules your 8th house. So this is also connected to some beginnings and endings, some transformation, perhaps You might be moving away from some group of people, from some social circles. So you might be doing some adjustments, redefining your friendships as well. Or perhaps you might join a new group or meet some new people in your life that could completely transform your outlook on life moving forward. And you might not recognize yourself at some point, but in a positive way. Right, so on this note, let's move into Gemini. Thank you very much. Hello, Geminis, and welcome. So here this conjunction will take place in your 10th house. And here, this is the area of social status, career, how others see you, especially the people that don't know you or you don't yet. There's no kind of emotional connection. You don't know them very well. They don't know you very well. So your public image, basically. But also this life activity could bring some personal fulfillment, this conjunction. So following this conjunction, you might experience some personal fulfillment of some sort. So the 10th house is a public house, so nothing can be hidden here. You are you might be rearranging the way you are seen publicly. You might be dealing with issues concerning your career, your social status. Perhaps there could be some changes concerning the society, how the society sees you. Or perhaps you might be getting married, divorced, you might become a parent. So generally, anything connected to your status could also be affected following this conjunction. So basically, the events that occur around this time will lead to changes in your social standing, in your career, your life direction. So this could be also connected to a new job, finding what you want to do with your life. Or perhaps there could be some changes concerning some important relationship in your life as well. Now, the consequences of the events could also affect your relationship sphere because Jupiter rules your 7th house. So now with this in mind, as I said, changes concerning social status. So this could be connected to a new relationship or breaking up with the existing relationship. Or generally, you might decide you want to plan a faraway trip with someone important in your life. Jupiter is connected to foreign travel. Or perhaps you might decide you want to go on a trip on your own. Or you might go on a business trip and meet someone important and form a relationship with this person. So this is one of the examples that could occur around this time for you, dear Gemini. So thank you very much. And let's move into Cancers. Thank you. Hello, Cancers, and welcome. So here, this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction will happen on April the 12th. So whatever I'm about to tell you, it's not only going to happen around the 12th of April, but this is also about the whole cycle. So this could kind of influence, this conjunction could influence your next 13 years. And this is happening in your 9th house. So you will be dealing with your life direction, with your life philosophy, your life principles. So here the key area includes travel, so new experiences, something that you haven't done before, something adventurous, something different, books, publishing, studying, higher education here. Things basically that are not common knowledge, because that will be the 3rd house. You might receive some unexpected news from far away. Generally, there could be an urge to travel, an urge to expand your wisdom, horizons, knowledge, take a trip overseas, start some sort of studies, so higher education course. So whatever the scenario, there might be some luck involved here following this conjunction, and you can basically, you might be able to achieve whatever you want as long as you put your mind in the right mindset. Basically, you kind of set yourself in the right mindset. Right. So generally, whatever the scenario, the events that follow this conjunction will lead to kind of in some way to an opportunity for you to broaden your horizons, your mind, your knowledge. Now, Jupiter rules your 6th house as well, because this is where Sagittarius is present. So the consequences of your decisions, of the events that will happen connected to this conjunction in Pisces, will also affect your 6th house matters. So basically, your daily domestic routine could be affected, your work life, your relationship with your coworkers, for instance. So you might expect some changes concerning your work, your daily patterns, your habit patterns. You might be breaking away from some habits around this time as well, from some unhealthy habits, routines, for example. Or perhaps you might find yourself having to take on additional responsibilities, for instance, or perhaps you might let go of some responsibilities that no longer make any sense or lost their purpose. So basically redefining, making changes concerning your daily life, daily schedule, daily routine. And this is what I've got for you about this conjunction. And now let's move into Leo. Thank you very much. Hello, Leos, and welcome. So here, this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction on April the 12th will activate your 8th house. So you will be dealing with some deep and profound matters. And there could be an increased courage, motivation, drive as well. But here, the key area is transformation, regeneration, death and rebirth, beginnings or endings. So you might be starting something new, ending something at the same time. So opening new opportunities for yourself, because with Jupiter, it's better to take the initiative because the energies flow at a pretty easy way, but taking the initiative always helps to kind of attract good energies. So transformation, investments, joint finances, resources, deep, intimate relationships as well. Right, so if there's a flavor, the flavor of this conjunction is intense, it's powerful, is deep and profound. So you might be going through some really transformative events, irrevocable changes, ending some important chapters and starting something new. So transformation, making the impossible possible. Right, so you might be kind of moving from the old into the new. And generally you will be dealing with some deep situations, relationships, but you will have the motivation, the courage, the right attitude to approach any obstacles, any issues that stand your way. Now, here with this conjunction also, we will have the activation of the 5th house because Sagittarius rules your 5th house. The 5th house is a positive house, a positive energy, the energy of creativity, romance, children, fun, joy. Even though there could be some intensity around this conjunction for you, we've got also the activation of the 5th house. The outcomes of the events that will take place as a result of this conjunction could be pretty positive because they could be connected to you becoming more creative, more perhaps more spiritually awakened or aware. And you might have this really strong desire to live a more carefree life, to enjoy your life, especially if you've been working hard towards a specific goal or a milestone. Now you may find it easier to enjoy the simpler pleasures of life, or you might find more time to enjoy your children as well. You might find a deep connection with another, a romantic relationship, because here we've got the 8th house, which is about intimacy, deep relationships, and the 5th house activation. So this could be a beginning of some really important connection, relationship, business partnerships, or perhaps you might be investing your money, or you might gain financially from any investments. For example, if you invested your money in the past. Right, so on this note, let's move into the predictions for the next sign, and that's Virgo. Thank you very much. Hello, Virgos, and welcome. So here, this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune on April the 12th will activate your 7th house. So here you will be dealing with personal relationships, one-to-one relationships, business partnerships, but also any contract, any agreements, or perhaps some legal matters as well. So for some people, this could be a new relationship, this could be a new romance, or perhaps a new friendship, a new business partnerships. You might be signing some new contracts, agreements concerning a new job, a new career contract as well. So new work contract. For other people, this could be if you're already dealing with a breakup, or if you are already dealing with some legal matters concerning a divorce, so this could be the end of that matter because you're moving into a new phase, into a new cycle. Since Jupiter is connected to foreign people, foreign travel, you might meet someone who comes from a different culture or country to yours, or perhaps you might decide you want to go on a faraway trip with your partner, or if you go on your own, for instance, with some friends, then perhaps you might attract a new partner, a new love partner into your life, or you might meet someone interesting with whom you could potentially form a new friendship. Now, the consequences of these events will also affect your fourth house, or your home and family life, your domestic sphere, because Sagittarius rules your fourth house. And there could be some changes in the home and family sphere as a result of the events that occur in your personal relationships. So you might, for example, sign a new contract, a new work contract, and as a result of that, you might have to relocate to another city, another country, for example. Or perhaps you might sign a new home agreement because you want to move in with your partner, and as a result of that, you will move into a new place with your partner. So basically, anything that will happen in your relationship sphere will also affect your home sphere, your home situation, your living conditions, or perhaps your emotional inner safety and security as well. So this is what I've got for you about this conjunction, and let's move to the next sign. Thank you very much. Hello Libras, and welcome. So here Jupiter and Neptune conjunction on April the 12th will activate your sixth house. So here your health, your diet, your daily life, daily routine, your work life will be the theme of this conjunction, of this cycle. So generally your daily domestic life will be kind of impacted to a certain extent. You might be breaking away from some old habits, old routines, or dietary habits as well, in order for something greater to emerge, to begin. Generally, you're moving away from whatever outlived its purpose, whatever you find that doesn't really contribute into your health, to your lifestyle, to your diet. So generally, lifestyle changes. You might be also making some changes concerning your daily life, or perhaps how you commute to work, because here the third house is also activated. Sagittarius rules your third house and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So generally, how you commute to work might change, how you your exercise regime, your diet, your relationship with coworkers as well. Perhaps you might be involved in some creative projects. You might decide you want to change your job. You want to do something where you can use your skills, your talents, because perhaps whatever you're doing now isn't bringing enough fulfillment or satisfaction. So generally, whatever the scenario here with the sixth house, or your daily life, health, routine, your work life, these events will also affect your third house. So you might decide if you want to change your job, for example, you might decide you want to learn a new skill, because the third house is connected to learning, to our skills. So you might decide you want to gain a new skill in order to change your job, for instance, or you might want to refresh your skills if you already have existing talents and skills that you would like to use but perhaps improve. Now, this could also be connected to your siblings. Perhaps you might be working with your siblings, or you might want to improve your relationship with your siblings, or you might want to plan a trip, or you might want to plan a trip or a new experience with your siblings, cousin, or someone from your community. Generally, you might be also involved in your community. You might do some work in your community as well. You might decide you want to write a book, set up a website, or do some marketing plan for your business as well. And this is what I've got for you about this conjunction. So thank you very much, and let's move to the next sign. Hello, Scorpios, and welcome. So Jupiter and Neptune conjunction on April the 12th will activate your fifth house. And the fifth house is the fun house, the house of creativity, fun, joy, children, romance. So following this conjunction, you might seek more fun in your life. You might want to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, especially if you feel like life hasn't been fun enough in the last weeks or months. You might have more involvement with young people, with children. You might teach as well. You might want to become a teacher. You might find a new romantic relationship. So here, romance is really highlighted and emphasized. You might have this inner desire to express yourself creatively in some way. So creativity, self-expression. You might regain your confidence in your creative abilities. Generally, creativity, there is a great need for expressing oneself in a creative way. You might be bursting with creativity. So being creative, imaginative, changing your lifestyle, being more spontaneous, adventurous, doing things that perhaps you haven't done before. You might have this inner urge as well. You might get pregnant. You might decide you want to have a family, have a baby. So whatever the scenario, living a more fun and entertaining life, seeking more romance, more involvement with young people, with children, or having a child, teaching, or perhaps you might want to set up your own business. You might want to do some freelancing as well. Now, the consequences of these events will also affect your area of finances. So perhaps you might start a new hobby, or you might decide you want your hobby to become your job and monetize it as well. So there could be some financial gains as a result of your skills and talents, because the second house is ruled by Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And here with Jupiter and Neptune, your second house is activated as well. So generally issues of security and stability are also highlighted at this time. So you might be thinking about your financial stability and security moving forward around this conjunction as well. So this is what I've got for you about this conjunction, and let's move into the next sign. Thank you very much. Hello Sagittarians, and welcome. So here Jupiter and Neptune conjunction will activate your fourth house, so your domestic life is emphasized, your inner emotional safety and security, your private life, your roots, where you come from. So perhaps there could be more activity with your family. You might be renovating, redecorating. You might decide you want to move somewhere where you might grow your roots, especially if you don't feel connected to your existing location. Perhaps someone might be leaving your home, or someone could be moving in. And you might be interested in your heritage, in your roots. You might want to create a family tree as well. So generally the events at the time of this conjunction will happen in the home and family sector. And your main concern will be your emotional security, safety, your home. So generally there could be some changes on the home front considering this conjunction in Pisces. So here your first house is also activated, Sagittarius, your ascendant ruler, or perhaps even your sun sign or your moon sign if you're watching for your sun or moon. And of course, Jupiter is your ruler. So the first house is activated as well at this time. And with the activation of your first house, this is also about your independence. So your independence will be influenced. So the need for being independent, for being free, for needing more space. So as a result of that, you might want to implement changes in your home because of this inner need for having more space, for being more independent. So yeah, so this conjunction could kind of prompt you for initiating personal action. And also this conjunction might prompt you to make some changes concerning your style, your personal style, your physical appearance as well. And generally, this is a time of really strong personal strength, courage, motivation, drive, because Jupiter is your ruler. So you are personally kind of influenced by this conjunction. But here the fourth house plays a big role as well. But generally, more space, more freedom, more independence, be self-reliant as well. And as a result of that, this could also strongly impact your domestic sphere, your home sphere, where you live, where you want to be. All right, so this is what I've got for you about this conjunction, and let's move to the next sign. Thank you very much. Hello Capricorns, and welcome. So here with this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction in Pisces on April the 12th at 23 degrees and 58 minutes, this is the activation of your third house, so communication, exchange of information. Your mind is likely to be very vivid and very active, stimulated, even restless maybe sometimes, because there will be this inner urge for expansion with Jupiter. So you might want to learn new skills. You might want to read, write. It's a great time for learning. You might want to create a new marketing or advertising plan for your business, set up a new website. You might create your own website, learn new skills. Learning is really, really emphasized here. Learning, reading, writing. You might present something important at your work, for instance. But generally, there is also you might have an urge to travel within your country, or you might travel abroad and might want to take short trips within that country. You might want to improve your relationship with your siblings, with people from your community, with your cousins or your neighbors, for instance. Now, generally with this conjunction, this is about information, exchange of information, short distance travel, paperwork. You might deal with some important paperwork, emails, letters. You might be creating something or writing an ebook or writing a book, or perhaps dealing with some projects, creating some projects, some vision maps as well for yourself. So generally studying, learning, accumulating information, planning short distance travel, for instance. Whatever the scenario, your 12th house will be also influenced at this time because Sagittarius and Jupiter rule your 12th house. So some private issues that perhaps were unclear before might be brought to the forefront at this time. You might have to deal with them, resolve them. And some of these things might be kind of out of your control. So with the activation of the 12th house, this would be a really great time for kind of dealing with any of these dilemmas, events, circumstances, issues that could emerge. And generally, there could be some work from behind the scene. Or you might want to go on a spiritual retreat and spend time on your own, writing your journal, learn astrology, meditate, listen to music. You might want to recharge your batteries as well around this conjunction. Right, so on this note, let's move into the next sign. Thank you very much. Hello, Aquarians, and welcome. So here, this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune on April the 12th will activate your second house. So here, the key area of life will be personal resources, possessions, your financial sphere, your financial security and stability, your self-worth and self-esteem. So generally the focus is on security, and the consequences of the events that will happen around this time will make you concerned with your stability, financial stability, and generally you might want to find greater confidence in yourself as well. If you feel like your self-worth or self-esteem has been compromised in some way recently or in the last few years, perhaps as a result of some people or circumstances, you might want to move away from those habits, or you might want to break away any negative habits or routines that negatively contribute into your self-esteem and self-worth in order to move forward into a healthier future. Or at the same time, you might want to move away from some people, from some groups of people that affect your self-esteem and self-worth. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because Sagittarius rules your 11th house. So here Jupiter rules your 11th house. So this could be also the case. So generally, you might be kind of planning your financial future following this conjunction, and there could be some interesting opportunities that come your way because Jupiter brings opportunities as long as we take the initiative first. However, the outcomes of the events will also influence your 11th house, or your friendships, any groups that you belong to or may want to belong to. So generally, you might want to expand your social circle. You might want to change your social circle, for example, and meet more like-minded people who align with your personality, with your interests. Or perhaps you might want to go into counseling or therapy, or you might be involved in some group projects, teamwork, or there could be more opportunities for some networking. So if this is the case, then take this opportunity because you might attract some interesting connections or opportunities here. If you have any business networking or any group events, invitations, then definitely take advantage of these. Yes, so here, this is what I've got for you about this conjunction. So thank you very much, and let's move to the next sign. Hello, Pisces, and welcome. So here, this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction on April the 12th will take place in your sign. So that's really exciting. So the key area of life will be the self, so your identity, your persona, your physical body, your appearance, the impression you make on others, but also your personal goals, ambitions. This is about you. This is about what you want from your life. This is about where you want to go, where you want to moving forward. This is about your life direction. So here the main concern will be on your physical body, on your appearance, on your independence as well. You might have an urge to take action because you will feel in control of your life, of your situation. This is all happening in your sign, beautifully aligned here in Pisces in your first house. This is about you taking action, taking the initiative, taking control of your life, because you will feel really energized here. and very aware of your personal actions, which may kind of create some interesting events around this time. So this event will activate your 10th house and obviously your first house. But here, with the first house, I already mentioned, this is about your independence. This is about taking the initiative, personal actions, your goals, your ambitions, your career, your life direction. You might want to make an important decision around this time or following this conjunction that will affect your life in a positive way and give you personal strength. Now, the 10th house activation here with this, following this conjunction, this can lead to changes concerning your social standing, your social status. So this could be a new job. You might want to, you might finally realize what you want to do with your life, what you want to do as, when it comes to your career. There could be changes concerning your status. So perhaps a new relationship, or perhaps this could be a new business partnership. You might be getting married, engaged, or have a child, for instance. So whatever the scenario here, your career sphere, your life direction, your public status is also influenced as a result of this conjunction. So any major decisions that you make concerning your life, any changes concerning your life direction, your goals, your ambitions, how you are seen publicly will also impact your career direction. So this is the time to take action because you can make positive changes and move forward in the right direction. And this is what I've got for you about this conjunction. So thank you very much. All right, so we reached the last sign for this forecast. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next time.